Hi, I'm Wayne Madsen, and you're listening to the Falcons Nest podcast.
I'm Lewis Rees, and you're listening to Falcons Nest podcast.
I'm Anuj Dal, and you're listening to the Falcons Nest podcast.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Falcons Nest podcast. We're coming to you just after Derbyshire women's defeat to Yorkshire. I'm joined by Derbyshire head coach Jon Dyson. Jon, look, I mean, you've seen a lot of Yorkshire this season, but you must have seen the improvement every time these two sides have gone head to head.
Yeah, that's been the message to the players post-match, really, in the briefing, that where we started in game 1 to where we finished in the 4th game against them, the stats are showing massive improvements. The gap has reduced significantly in terms of the fielding, batting and bowling as well. So we're really, really pleased with that.
What are the biggest areas you feel that have come on? Because today, particularly, some of the fielding, particularly in the outfield, but also a couple of those catches that were taken were really impressive.
Just confidence, just some self-belief. We've come in on the back of two T20 wins, which helps, and just that volume and dedication to practice. Really, the girls are just hanging on to balls like that in practice. It just becomes a habit. They bring that confidence into the game, and one sticks, and it cascades throughout the side that actually, we can catch and we can field. Yeah.
How do you assess the T20 campaign? Because it looks like Yorkshire will run away with the group, and I guess the aim is very much finals day still in your sights.
Definitely, yeah. So top 2 finish is in our sights for sure. So we're 2 from 3. We've got fixtures against Leicestershire, 2 against Leicestershire, and then Worcester and Northants, who we've already beaten. So we're very much in the competition and looking forward to next week. Yeah.
How important was that win at Worcester? It was a proper low scorer, but just a case of getting over the line. What was it like being, part of the dressing room when that run chase was going on?
Just some relief, really. And again, it's difficult to know how to win when you're kind of on the back of 6 or 7 defeats. So it's just really pleasing that we scrambled over the line. We found a way to get over the line, and just a sense of relief that actually we've done that. And then we saw that in the Northants game, that increase in confidence and self-belief. Yeah.
Maria Andrews' 5 against Northants was superb, and also I want to talk about some of the wicket keeping we've seen, because I feel like that's been a really strong area.
Yeah. I mean, Maria raises everyone else's game. Her presence in the side is, as well as her skill levels. Other players kind of want to increase their skill levels as well, and she just goes about her work in a professional, compact, calm manner, and just executes the skills really, and it rubs off on the players around her. We've seen that with the other spinners have kind of raised their game as well, and it's the fielding has kind of gone up a mark as well. Good spinners need a good keeper as well behind the stumps, and Meg's glove work is as good as we've seen. I've no doubt about that her glove work is still right up there with other players on the circuit. Yeah.
How do you look back on the 50 over competition in terms of starting the season and going back to it later this summer? How confident are you that these wins in the T20s will then translate back into that competition?
Definitely, we'll take. I mean, winning's winning, and you get used to winning like you get used to losing. So the momentum from the T20 stuff, no doubt, we'll transfer that into 50 over stuff. Be a couple of changes in terms of personnel, and a couple of tactical switches that we might make. But yeah, we'll approach the 50 overs now with less fear, I think, a little bit more clarity in what we're coming up against, and less fear of making mistakes and are we good enough? We know we're good enough now. We know that we can compete against sides that are on an equal footing with us in terms of funding, etc.
And we saw even today against a side that are going to be Tier 1 next year, some of the spells in the game where you could be on top, like you're above the run rate for most of the power play and beyond. Yeah. I mean, Jess and Lara, again, I'm pretty sure the stats at the end of the season will show their approach to the start of every innings will be right up there with all the other counties. I'm sure of that. And they set the platform. They've been challenged with
kind of acknowledging when that partnership's broken, about just resetting and building another platform and supporting some of the younger batters that are coming in, and building the platform again, and then pushing again later in the game. So that's our focus. That's what we're kind of working on.
Does having a team like Yorkshire in this group help you in terms of when you're coming up against a team like that? Because earlier in the season it almost felt like maybe it was having the opposite effect in terms of knocking the players' confidence, but maybe we've seen today actually it can work out in a positive manner.
Yeah, I mean it's a double-edged sword. We don't want to lose heavily. That doesn't help anybody. So you can say, well, we can take some learning from losing, but you want to lose in a certain way, and when the game's too one-sided, it's difficult to take positives out of that. But so look, it's out of our control. We've got to play Yorkshire 4 times. That's it. So we don't complain about it. We set up and go out there and give it our best going. But the most pleasing thing is that the gap has reduced significantly over the 4 games that we've played them. How different has this year been to last? Just more intense. There's no easy games. You know, every game, week in, week out, every game is a difficult game. There's no kind of free games anymore. That's been the biggest change, that we're coming up against sides that have depth throughout. It's not just 1 or 2 key players, and then that's the kind of the game over. We're coming against 11 good players. So I guess that's been the biggest challenge, that strong sides week in, week out, and literally a strong side of 11 players rather than key individuals. So over the winter, you're able to sort of increase the off-pitch staff. Could you, I guess, tell the listeners a little bit more about that, and I guess the backing from the club as well in terms of what we maybe don't see behind the scenes? Yeah, so the physio's working really hard, getting the players taped and strapped and getting them out on the pitch, particularly when it's hot weather and the games are coming thick and fast. Harriet's battered today with a tight hamstring and that much taping on it that she can hardly run, but she wants to go out there and bat, and that's great for the side. Lauren's doing a lot of work with the S&C, but we'll take a lot of that stuff into the winter. So they're kind of assessing players and their behaviours, their movement patterns, their kind of fault position at the moment in terms of where their fitness levels are at. There's stuff to work on in terms of lateral movement and speed across the ground and accessing the ground in better positions, really. But that we'll tell it into the winter rather than overload the players with stuff during the summer. What about on the analysis side as well, when you're playing sort of teams you maybe haven't come up against before, and some teams that have had a fair bit of player movement as well? So Matt Senior again is working hard behind the scenes in terms of getting that info together. But because we're playing against new sides, we're kind of a little bit limited on access to info at the moment. So again, that would inform the data we're gathering now will inform our winter work, our winter prep, and take us into next season in a stronger position again. Yeah. Are you looking forward to the winter already in terms of what you've seen, or is there so much more to come still from this season? We're enjoying playing. We're still got a good dressing room, good attitude to training, commitment to the programme. All the staff are behind the players, so we're very much enjoying playing at the moment, and we're still learning how each other operate, and the players are kind of learning how we operate, and they're getting to each other as new players. So we're enjoying the summer, and we'll hit the pre-season stuff when that arrives. Yeah, seems like a really tight group as well in terms of keeping players on from last year and then adding a couple of new faces. Yeah, and they've gelled together. It's never easy to bring in new faces, but they've gelled really well, and they want to work hard. That's the challenge. The players want to work hard. Yes, they want to work hard. They want to improve. They want to work with coaches. They acknowledge the help that and assistance that support staff can bring in terms of making them physically better, stronger, faster, being able to get on the park for longer and return spells, etc. with the bowlers, particularly when the weather's hot. So stuff around nutrition. They're all on the powder drinks now, and they kind of, the salt levels are good and the hydration levels are good, and so they're buying into all the key little little 1%ers that hopefully in the longer term will make some real difference.
I've seen a lot this season, and we're talking about it in commentary earlier, the 1-over spells, where it's really common sort of with Derbyshire. Is that your idea, or is that something that comes from the captain?
It's something we spoke about in terms of we've got variety in the dressing room, and it's nice to essentially put the opposition under pressure, and to use that variety and not allow batters to settle. It's still a work in progress. It's not guaranteed to work. It can go wrong, but it's something that we're working on. And with that variety, right arm, left arm options, seam and spin, we feel that it's something that can potentially unsettle a batting unit. Yeah.
The bowling's probably been the standout so far, and as the fielding's improved, it's probably helped as well. Yeah. That side of things. The batting, maybe it's the middle overs, perhaps that where the improvements need. How do you work on that?
I think it's a bit of a shot selection stuff. It's a bit of a mental thing. It's potentially just execution at the wrong time, the wrong decision made at the wrong time, really. And that's the game, particularly in T20. We back the players to go out there and deliver their skills, but there's a little bit of stuff behind the scenes in terms of reading the game. What's the game situation now? What is the game demanding of me now? And if we're up there with the run rate or even exceeding the run rate, then we can afford to consolidate a short period in the game and build a platform again, and then push again later in the game. And players just owning their own game, playing their own game. And if we've gone at 8, 9, 10 and over, and that's not 3, 4 and 5 style, then we can withdraw a little bit and push some pressure back in terms of gapping and running well and keeping the ball on the ground at certain periods, that particularly on these big grounds with big boundary ropes. So it's just working on players about decision making and absorbing that pressure, really. Reading the game.
And opening the Chesterfield Festival next week, hopefully get a good crowd in. Big game again against Worcestershire. You must be really excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, again, we can't wait to get to Chesterfield. We know there'll be a big crowd there. There's always a big crowd supporting Derbyshire. So we're really looking forward to that. And, the message has been simple after the game, that we're 2 from 3. And we head to Chesterfield really, really positive and playing some good cricket.
And aims for the rest of the season then? I mean, finals day will obviously be one, but I think we're probably seeing already how much this side is coming on. How do you end the season strongly?
Just playing good cricket and taking the result out of it, really. We know this is a longer term plan. So we're not led by results. And we've always said from before the season started that we'll win some games and we'll lose some games. And that's still our aim, to keep improving as a side. Real clarity in terms of what is my role in this side, and how to execute that plan. And so we'll just carry that on throughout the season, and we do that, and we'll still win some and we'll still lose some. Yeah.
And if you were to encourage some fans to come down, we saw a nice crowd in today, but I'm sure we could get a few more down. What would your message be?
Just come and watch and support. We play positively. That's our brand. Our batters have a really positive mindset. So we look to hit the ball. Our fielding is good. We're pulling off some good things out in the field. We know Chesterfield will be a lovely outfield. It'll be fast out there, and the girls are working hard on the tumbles and rolls and getting on the ground. And Rhiannon Nolan Davis today showed some good work out on the rope, and so we'll just carry on doing that at Chesterfield as we will do it at every ground we visit. It's too late in the season to say, right, we're going to completely throw this out now and start again and play a different way. We're going to play our way, back our skills, and keep tweaking stuff and learning stuff as we go through this season.
Jon, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.